everybody, Marquee Matchup time. Tony George, Scott Spreitzer, Joey Ramone, whatever you want to call him. Guess what? I lost a steak and a beer last week on my Chiefs with Mr. Spreitzer here.
Only one beer?
Yeah, well, as many as you want, my friend. But nonetheless, the Kansas City Chiefs last week laid a great big dog turd in the middle of the field down at Arrowhead. And I know an individual out here in Las Vegas bet $100,000 on Kansas City on the money line to win $17,000. Let me tell you something. They got beat straight up by the Colts. A matter of fact, the Colts was one of my best bets of the day last Sunday in the NFL. They're taking on the Texans, who absolutely just ripped Atlanta. I don't know what's going on with Atlanta. That's a whole nother video.
Look at that schedule, by the way, just off the topic for just a second. That schedule for Atlanta coming up, it's not easy. I know it's like at Arizona first week, so they hopefully should win there if you're a Dan Quinn fan. But then they got a couple of homers against really good playoff potential football teams. Dan Quinn, well-liked Dan Quinn, could be out of a job in about 3 or 4 weeks.
Kansas City here, 5 to 5.5, total 55 in this game. Mahomes is going to play. He's not going to be 100%. You saw what happened when he couldn't move around and buy time in the pocket last week against the Colts. And I'll tell you what, right now, we all know Kansas City can't stop the run. I told you that last week. I've said it all year long. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Getting rid of Bob Sutton and bringing in Spagnuolo did nothing. And they don't make good adjustments at halftime. Andy Reid not calling good plays. 4th down and 1 in midfield, and you run it up the middle when you couldn't get a yard all night long.
25th ranked team rushing the football on offense, and that's what they went for.
Gosh, and you know, D4's gone, Houston's gone here. I think Kansas City, with injuries on the defensive line, and I'll tell you, Mahomes not being 100%, Watkins still out, Hill's still out. There's a great deal of this team, Scott, that is not playing in this game, and Houston's coming in here brimming with confidence. You couldn't stop Brissett. How are you going to stop Watson right now? That's the question.
Well, here's the thing. You know, you hit on Ford, you hit on Houston, the two defensive stalwarts for KC last year that are no longer in KC. Kind of talked about this before we got into week 1 of the season. In fact, that they weren't that good against the run last year as it was. How were they going to be better with those two guys missing? One player that you didn't mention, who's key to this team last year, big time, until he got in a little bit of trouble, Kareem Hunt. He's no longer a Chief. Yeah. They can't run the football. 25th in the league in yards per game on the ground. 30th in the league defending the run. And I got to tell you right now, I thought the coaching job of the week, maybe the month, goes to Frank Reich, because he did what everybody should be doing. If you have a good offensive line, you block, you run the football, you run it right at KC, occasional short dump-off passes, screens, hitting a little bit of wideouts as far as short yardage is concerned on the pass itself, and then let those guys get yards after catch. That's what Indianapolis did, and that's how you beat KC. Last 2 defenses that have faced Kansas City have done the same thing. I'm talking about the Lions and the Colts. What they did is they made sure they kept Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. They surrounded him. They put a wall around him basically so he could really rarely run and throw. And because of that, you've seen his numbers go down. He's also a little banged up. 46 for 81 his last 2 games, 56.7% passing. He misses Tyreek Hill, as Tony mentioned, no doubt, with that deep threat. Can Houston come out now and copy what the Lions did and copy what the Colts did, because now KC has had 2 weeks to see what teams were doing and maybe counter that and adjust to it. Real quick note, Houston's 10th as far as running the football, but they're 25th against the pass. Mahomes ought to be licking his chops for this defense. We'll see if he comes through.
Yeah, here, I just think this is a bad number. 5.5. We're betting numbers, not betting games. It's always a bad number to bet into, in my opinion, in my experiences over the years here. And you hit it, Houston 10th in running the ball and 10th in points scored in the NFL. Of course, padding their stats last week, putting up 53 against the Falcons. They're not going to put up 53 against Kansas City. When you talk about O'Brien thinking, how can I win this game? It's run the football.
Sure.
I'm just worried if Andy Reid and Spagnuolo can make adjustments on their end, knowing that that's coming, because it's frustrating that they haven't. And trust me, I lived in Kansas City 12 years, been a Chiefs fan my whole life. You and I grew up 3 hours from Kansas City.
Been to a lot of games there.
Both of us here. I'm not comfortable right now with the Chiefs laying this number, especially with, I think Mahomes not being able to be mobile this week is going to be a big deal in this game. And by the way, we haven't mentioned one thing. J.J. Watt's around.
Sure.
And he's going to be looking to run down Mahomes.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Deshaun Watson, 5 touchdown passes, no picks. I love Deshaun Watson on and off the field. Give the guy a chance to have some time to throw the football, and he can beat you. Real quick note about this game also, these Houston Texans 1-6 against the spread against winning teams the last 7 games. And also, that game last week where they put up 53, 21-point win, do you know with 2 minutes to go in the game, it was a 1-possession game. It was 40-32 with about 1:55 to go in the game. They scored 13 points in the final 2 minutes to make it look a little bit more of a blowout than it actually was, Tony.
I could easily see this being a 30-27 ball game one way or the other. Hopefully Kansas City's way as a fan, but I can only look at taking the points in this one, Scott.
There you go.
There you go. That's the marquee matchup. We got one in college for you. We got the 10 and 10. We got plays on Saturday and Sunday right over there at DocSports.com. Come get your free $60 by clicking that link in the description below. And best of luck this weekend.